Hi guys, it's Lynn here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Now today guys, I'm potting up the amazing new cactus that me and Hans got from Myrtillocactus. And if you didn't see the video of the unboxing, then do watch that video. Links will be up above to that video, and it shows you my excitement opening up our beautiful new cactus baby. Now this particular cactus is nicknamed the booby plant, the Booby Cactus, for obvious reasons, and it has been a cactus that me and Hansi have been after for a really long time, and we're very good guys. We went onto the Myrtillocactus website and we just bought one cactus instead of 10, so we were very good. As I say, I made a video on can you have too many plants, and we've been very careful now on what we buy, just plants we absolutely want for our wish list, and we go through a lot of our extra ones to sell as part of our nursery. And the unboxing video, as I say I did, this is potting up the beautiful cactus. And before I go any further, do give my wonderful fiance Hansi, who is behind the camera now filming me, a big thumbs up, and do go over and subscribe to his amazing YouTube channel, Family of Cactusy and Other Beauties. He shares amazing tips on there and cacti suckers and also gardening and other houseplants, so do go over and subscribe and support guys. So then guys, I've got, this is the potting up, as I say, and I'm actually going to use the same soil that came with this plant. This plant came bare rooted, and I just put it into this little pot temporarily. But this is a little square pot I'm going to be using here. And the soil that actually came with is actually very good. It's very well draining. As you can see there, it's very gritty compost mix, which is great for cacti and succulents because it's particularly cacti. They're like a well draining soil mix. This can be of your choice, but as long as it's well draining, it's the most important thing here, as you can see. And it's come bare rooted and dry, which is brilliant. So I'm going to be potting it up then into this pot and keeping it dry, and then giving it a little bit of water, maybe in a couple of weeks. Now spring is practically here, and just introducing it into water very slowly while it acclimatises to its new pot. Now, if you want to know why I'm not going to be putting it into a big pot, even though it's a big cactus, as in tall, as in height, is because, as you can see, it has a very small root system. So if I was to pot this plant up into a much bigger pot, thinking, oh, it's going to grow faster, or it's going to be more in proportion with the length of it, then this roots, because it's small, the extra soil that be sitting around the pot, sitting around the roots, could cause the soil to go sour and could cause fungus and disease to set in your plant. So it's always best to slightly under pot than over pot, and just go up to one a bit size a bit bigger than what it was in originally. This pot is a little bit too big personally for these roots, as you can see. But the reason why I've chose this is I'm not going to be putting the soil all the way up to the top. I'm probably just going to be put the soil up to there, and it's just going to give it a bit more stability because it's a tall cactus. I'll show you what I'm going to be doing. As I say, I'm already using the soil mix that Ulish have sent because it's good quality and it's very well drained. As you can see, there's like a lot of rocks, volcanic type of rock in there, so it's going to be fast drying and well drainage. And always make sure that when you pot, you use pots that are clean. And we recycle all of our pots, but we always make sure they're spotlessly clean, so you're not going to spread any pathogens or anything if you're reusing pots. And there you go in there. And so it's probably going to go straight through the bottom in here. And that's that there. Now what I'm going to be doing here, as I say, it's quite a wide pot. So that there, and I'm going to be putting this around. But probably is quite shallow pot for the size of the pot. But the reason why I'm doing this, as I say, it's only got a very small root system. So if I was to pop this higher up, it would be sitting in a lot of excess soil, which is not good for cacti, because extra soil around the roots, if the pot is too big, then you can have a problem then with soil going sour, as I say. Now, I'm going to need a bit more soil here, I think. Just going to scrape this in here. As I said, we'll probably be potting this on again in the spring, in the summertime, once it's acclimatised, it's got a bit more growth on it. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold this a second because I need to get this bit of soil here. I always like to make a mess, guys, when I'm potting on. should be enough here. If not, I'll have to get some. Right, it's good Hansi's got the camera anyway. He's doing a great job of me filming there while I'm making such a mess here. Now then. So it's important that all the roots are covered, which they are. As I say, this is only shallow potted because it has only got a shallow root system, and I wanted to pick a pot that was bigger than the roots as such, just so it would be more stable, I should say, in there, and make sure that's covered. I'm going to be covering it then with a bit of top dressing of grit as well. Now I'm just going to get a little bit more soil just to fill it in a little bit more. So while Hansi's there, I won't be 2 seconds, I'm going to get a bit more soil to put over the top here. Here is a bit of soil mix that we mix up ourselves. Now, I use a John Innes based soil here. As you can see, it's very, very well draining with all the grit. I add extra sand, which I'm actually going to add a bit of extra sand now to this because this, I always take out the big parts. This is a loam based soil. I use John Innes number 2 with a bit of extra perlite. And what I think I'm actually going to do, I'm going to change this idea, guys, so sorry about this. Proves I don't plan my videos, but I like to be very, very real. I'm going to actually mix, because this is like a lot of volcanic rock, which is brilliant. I'm going to actually mix this with the soil mix I've already made up with a bit of extra sand. So Hansi's been so patient there. I'm going to show you what I'm going to be doing. I thought I'd have enough soil in there, but I haven't, so... This is my own mix here. This is John Innes number 2. And taking out any of the harder, this isn't necessarily going to hurt, but to me it's just, they use a lot of these things for fillers. I don't like the big bits in or the stones, so we're moving that out. And they're going to mix that in, so a bit of perlite in there, a bit of the volcanic rock, and then just going to add a small amount of sand. And if you want to know how to make your own cactus and succulent mix and what I use, do check out a video I've made on how to make your own cactus and succulent soil. Now, I usually use 3 equal parts of everything, but in this case I'm only making a very small mix-up, so this should be fine. I use horticultural sand, and horticultural sand is important. Don't use builder sand or beach sand, because beach sand will contain salt, and builder sand tends to go a bit like cement. So I use horticultural sharp sand, bit of extra perlite, and then I'm mixing this then with their own mix that the plant already came in, because the volcanic rock does the same thing as perlite, and that's pretty good. Now that's better, so there we go. Start again, but want to make sure that there's enough. Basically, there's no right or wrong when it comes to making cactus and succulent soil. Hansi, behind the camera, will have he prefers to use peat with his cacti and succulents, and he has great success with using good quality, well-draining peat. Don't you, my love?
Yeah.
Well, I prefer to use a loam-based soil, in this case a John Innes, with extra sand and perlite or grit. But it's really, there's no right or wrong. Whatever you prefer, that is going to be good. The most important thing is it's well-draining, and that's all you really need to know, or worry about, I should say. There you go, that's a bit better. Again, I'm not going to be putting too much soil over this, just enough to stabilise it. That's great. And it's always important to use dry soil when you're potting up cacti. Especially this time of year, it's just sort of pre-spring almost. But a lot of the cacti, I'm still keeping the majority of them still dry until they come into active growth. If I was to water this plant straight after potting it up now, there's a possibility root rot could set in, because it's been in travel, it's been in transit for a few days in a dark box, and then suddenly it's been exposed to brightness, and the roots need to settle down into the new pot first of all. As you can see, guys, I like to make a mess when I pot up. It's a good job that I'm not house proud, and Hansi's not house proud. because we just don't worry about things like that. You can't really be house proud when you have 1,000,001 plants in the house. Right, that's pretty good. And then just gently, it's important not to press really hard down when you're potting up plants because roots need to breathe. So you just want to make sure that it's stable enough so the plant doesn't obviously fall over, but it's just gently tucked in very lightly so the soil is all the way down in the pot, but not pressing hard. You see people that are pressing hard, but the roots need to breathe. And use up all their soil. That's it there. That's probably pretty much it. As I say, be keeping this dry now for the next few days. And well done, Hansi. So that's it. Hansi's removing all the big parts there. It's a good job I don't cook and don't make cakes because I would make such a mess. That's great. So there you go. That's our new Booby Cactus, Myrtillocactus. Don't even let me. Geometrizans variety Fukurokuryuzinboku. What a tongue twister. And there we go. So that's going to be going upstairs in our grow room under natural light actually, because we don't need to worry about the light. The grow light's that's going to be going in the window, south facing window, and then when the weather warms up then we're going to be putting it into the polytunnel and we're going to lock the plants out for the spring and summer into the polytunnel. And then this one is not a cold hardy cactus, so if you're interested in purchasing this plant or you have this plant already, bear in mind that this one does not like cold weather. It's not like a lot of the desert cacti. It needs to be overwintered, cool and overwintered dry and warm. So overwinter this indoors in the house, probably at a minimum of about 12 to 15 degrees Celsius, which is about 52 to 60 degrees Fahrenheit. It's because it's not one that will just turn to mush if you overwinter it cold. So bear that in mind, guys. But as I say, probably do a care video on this plant in the future. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video watching me potting up one beautiful new cactus. I'm so happy about it. And we were very good. You got to admit, me and Hans were very good just to buy one and not go too mad. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to know more about how to grow cacti and succulents, then do check out my website, desertplantsofavalon.com. And if you hover your mouse over the top section, it's got growing tips, and hover your mouse over it, it will come up with different sections on the different lighting requirements, how to repot, how to this, loads of care tips on how to grow cacti and succulents. And stay tuned, I'm working on an ebook at the moment on how to grow cacti and succulents. I'm going to be sharing a lot more information in there, so hopefully that should be up and done in the next 3 to 4 months. I'm working hard on that at the moment. So guys, and a big thumbs up to Hansi again for filming. Sending you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of cactus power. As always, from across the Emerald Isle, and until the next video, bye.